Today, we're checking out the Datil chili pepper. It's a chili with a fascinating bit of mystery behind it, and it packs a bit of spice. The Datil is most famously grown in St. Augustine, Florida, where it's become a cornerstone of local cuisine. What's unusual is that nobody knows exactly how it got there. Some say that it was brought over by Minorcan settlers in the late 1700s, and others suggest Cuban or Caribbean origins. What we do know is that the datil thrives in Florida's climate and has been lovingly cultivated there for generations. Now, I've been growing the datil for a few years now. I live in the UK, and obviously our climate is nothing like Florida, unfortunately. So we can actually grow these here. The thing is, you probably are going to need a greenhouse or polytunnel like I have behind me. Now, I get decent harvest out of these. If you leave them in a small pot like this is in a 5-litre pot, so it's not very big. Give it enough space and these plants can get pretty massive. Now, this one here, like I said, 5-litre pot, and we have quite a few fruit on there. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And if you do want to grow it, I would start with at least a 5-litre pot. Now, botanically, the datil is part of the Capsicum chinense species, the same family as habaneros and Scotch bonnets. And I use those as examples because the heat level of this is very similar to the habanero and the Scotch bonnet, usually landing between 100,000 to 300,000 Scoville. So it's right up there with these other chilies like the habanero and the Scotch bonnet. Now, the Capsicum chinense is also where all the super hots come from, so things like the 7-pot Primo, the Carolina Reaper, the Wartrix, that sort of thing. But this is nowhere near that heat level. It does taste fantastic though, but we'll get to that in just a bit, where we cut it open and give it a try. The chilies themselves are small, between 1 and 3 inches long, and they taper to a bit of a point. And they go from a deep green, like most chilies do, right through to a gorgeous bright yellow or orange. And this makes for fantastic looking sauces. So if you are wanting a yellow hot sauce, this might be a good option for you. So on the plant, you'll see them hanging kind of like little lanterns, all hanging down like this, and quite a few fruit on here. And you can imagine, you have a bigger plant, you're going to have a lot more fruit. So we're going to pick a nice ripe one, and we'll also get a green one so you can have a look at what that looks like. A better example of one, to be honest, with that sort of tapered look to the end there. This is a bit clubbed at the end, but still it'll be good enough for us to give a try. So put that aside for now. Let's open this up. Not a lot of seeds in there. These can get quite seedy. You can get quite a few in there. You can see it's thin-skinned. Oh, it smells so fruity. It's such a gorgeous tasting chili. And we're going to give it a try. I'm not going to eat too much. I don't need to. Don't want to burn my face off. So I'll just take a little bit at the end there and see what it's like. Such a sweet, beautiful tasting chili. One of the nicest hots that you get out there. Way better than a habanero or Scotch bonnet, in my opinion. But man, that's sweet. It's got a bit of spice. It kicks in pretty much right away. But man, you got to give it a try if you can get hold of it. If you live in Florida, I think you'll be able to get hold of them very easily. But otherwise, grow them at home, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy them. I just dropped that on the floor. But yeah, beautiful tasting chili. So many different uses. If you want to use it directly in a meal, it's great. As an addition for a hot sauce, or just purely using this as a hot sauce for a hot sauce, I think it would be stunning. It would ferment very well because there are a lot of sugars in there. It's like I say, a very sweet chili. But I think as a fresh sauce, a nice fresh, almost like a salsa, I think it would go fantastically. But yeah, that's the Datil chili pepper. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you are looking for seeds for this, I'm sure I'll have some in the store very soon. Until the next episode, stay spicy.